Hello, lovely people. Hello, real entrepreneurs. Happy Friday to you. How are you doing? Sunny day. Hope you're having a good week. Just going to wait for a few people to join. Here you come. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. So, good afternoon and happy Friday to all you lovely real entrepreneurs. How are we doing today? How is your week going? What have you been doing this week? How is your family? How is your business? How is your team? And what have you been working on? Has it been a good week? Has it been a challenging week? So in the UK, we've got lots of people that are coming back. Things are starting to get back to normal. Some businesses that are starting to come back to normal. Some people that are kind of starting to slowly kind of come in and normality, whatever that was, whatever that is. A lot of people are talking about a new normal. So hope that your new normal, whatever that is going well. Is going well. So I've noticed that some of my clients are getting back to work, and actually some people are planning for a September open, if you like, a September kind of ramp up. I know I can see that we've got some people joining from overseas. Welcome to you. So I'm interested to know how are things going in your country. So in the UK, we're starting to ease the lockdown and some businesses starting to get back to normal. But I've actually taken on a number of clients whose businesses have completely changed. They used to be kind of physical based businesses, and now they've moved completely online and are dealing with customers from all over the world. So I wonder how you and your business are doing. So thank you all for joining. I can see quite a few people have joined us now. So what are your plans for the summer? Do you have any summer holiday plans? I know some people are camping in their garden, sort of staycation. A lot of people planning to take some time out camping or other things around this wonderful country. What are your plans, if any, to take any time off over the week? Over the summer, I should say. If you have children, I bet they're really keen to maybe get to the beach. So yeah, what are your plans? Interested to hear. Or maybe you don't have any summer holiday plans. Maybe you're planning on working through this summer. It's been such an odd year. I think all of those normal rhythms have kind of gone out of the window, haven't they? So I'm interested to know how you guys are doing. Now, as you may know, my husband and I, we're really keen scuba divers, and so we are really keen to get our heads wet, as the diving term goes. And so he's been checking out all the advice on where we can get to. So we were in Israel back end of the year, and also in Jordan over Christmas, you might recall. And we normally try and go to Egypt at least once or twice a year, but all of those places are a little bit tricky to get to. We got really excited when we thought we might be able to get to the Maldives, but it's absolutely impossible to get travel insurance, and that's a really difficult decision, isn't it? Like, do you go if you might get stuck somewhere? I mean, there are obviously worse places to be stuck than somewhere like the Maldives, but we've got our businesses to run, and we need to get back. So it's a difficult to balance all of these things, to balance the business, and your market might be all over the place, or where are your clients heads at, what's the money situation. So yeah, lots and lots of different things to juggle here with all the people that I'm speaking to. So how has your week been? I hope you're having a really great week, and I hope that your Friday is going well as well so far. So I've had a pretty good week. As many of you know, I launched the Real Business Builders Accelerator, which is the group version of my flagship program. Super excited to get that launched finally. So many people asking me, when are you going to do a group version of your program? So it was really great to get that launched. We actually ended up having 2 launch events, one on Monday and one on Wednesday, and actually some really good discussions and some interesting things that were coming up for people. So thank you to all of those of you that attended. I can see several of you on the watching today. So I hope you got loads of value from those sessions, and also a few things to think about wherever you are in your business. I know some people are really challenged in their businesses, and other challenged because maybe the market has disappeared, or the market's shifting, or maybe the customers aren't there at the moment, or maybe you can't access your market, and other people challenged in completely a different way, almost too much demand and moving too quickly and getting overwhelmed with that. So wherever you are in that journey, I hope that you got some value from the events this week, and I hope that you get some value from this live, as hopefully you do every week as I share with you my thoughts about building and growing a business. So of course I'll let you know how that pilot goes, so piloting that group program, I'll let you know how that pilot goes over the summer with those first lucky few people who decided to take the plunge, so very exciting. So as you know, this group is all about helping you build a business that really works for you. And just as a reminder, all of the content in this group, including all of these lives, is organised into 6 units, so that it's really quick and easy for you to find what you need help with, whatever challenges you're facing. So I know that you're all really busy, and so I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for you to access whatever resources and whatever support I can give you however you're challenged in your business. So last week we talked about getting your message out and how to cut through all the noise, how to cut through on social media and really connect with your ideal customers. And we've put that in the solution unit. And so this week we're talking about how to stop doing everything yourself, something that's very dear to my heart, as you know. And this live will go into the systems unit, because this is all about how to have a system around not doing everything yourself. So many of you know that I did a TEDx talk last year in December, and the name of that TEDx talk was Are All Roads in Your Business Still Leading to You? And during that talk, that is available on my website or on the YouTube channel, you can find it there, but I spoke about how to avoid overwhelm and frustration in your business. And I also spoke about some of the reasons why people don't delegate more, why people get themselves overwhelmed in their business. And it's a lot to do with kind of guilt and shame, and also a lot to do with perfectionism. You know, those very high standards that many of us have. I don't know if there are any perfectionists watching today, I'm sure there are. So one of the things that I say in that talk, and one of the things that you've heard me say very often in these weekly lives, is stop doing everything yourself. But I often get asked, well, yeah, that's fine, Lisa, but how do you do that? It's very easy to say stop doing everything yourself, but how do you actually go about doing that in your business? So this week I'm going to talk about how to figure out what you could offload, and how to find the right person, and how to make sure that they do what you need them to do. So what's your situation? Where are you in your business? Do you need help with marketing? I know a lot of people find that a challenge. I have one particular client at the moment that keeps talking about how he should be doing more Facebook advertising, or he should be doing this, or he should be doing that. Now, you know me, I love a good should, or I love picking people up on a good should. Not a great word to help us motivate ourselves. So marketing maybe is something that a lot of people find puts them way outside their flow. So maybe you need help with marketing, or maybe you're looking for a virtual assistant, a VA, to help you with some of the admin that you need to do, or maybe you're thinking about bringing in somebody to help you with your manufacturing or shipping of your product. Or maybe you're not quite sure what help you need, and in that case I hope to give you some questions and some things to think about to help you get clear and start the process. So, or maybe you already have a small team, and maybe all roads are still leading to you in your business, and how do you get yourself out of the day-to-day? What I'm realising more and more, the more people that I work with and the more people I speak with, is this entrepreneurial journey really is about you and about our minds and about what we say to ourselves. And so a lot of the battle is actually the conversation that we have with ourselves. And so I'm hoping to give you some thoughts to help you kind of cut through that in your business. So the first step of this process, whether you're on your own in your business or whether you already have a small team, the first step in this process is to get really, really super clear about what you enjoy doing and also what you don't enjoy doing. So what puts you in your flow. Now, you've heard me talking about this flow concept very often. So flow is this wonderful place where you're just in the zone, where everything's just easy, where time stands still, or maybe it's just rushing past because you're just enjoying it so much. It's that beautiful balance spot between being bored and being stressed, where you're just in the zone. And that's different for every single person. Now, being in your flow is very different than what you can do. I'm sure that you're all very capable people. Most business owners are capable people. Otherwise, you wouldn't have started your business. So this is not about what you can do. This is about what you want to be spending your time on. That can't be right, I hear you say. Life doesn't work like that. We don't just get to do the things that we like, the bits that we like. So here's the thing, that kind of thinking, that's what we've all been conditioned to believe. The way that most of us were raised, actually. We're encouraged from a very young age to focus on our weaknesses. As children, we're compared with each other. And then as we grow up and we enter into the world of work, it's more of the same. We are encouraged, companies spend a fortune actually encouraging us to focus on our weaknesses, on improving our weaknesses. Now, of course, when you start out in business, you do end up doing a whole load of things that you never thought you would. Things that take you way outside your comfort zone. You know, that might be the finances, that might be legal, that might be HR, that might be hiring people, managing people, IT, whatever it might be that's putting you outside of your flow. And that is absolutely part of the process of starting a business. Of course it is. And so what I am talking about is what happens next. What happens after you've gone through that painful process of starting your business? You figured out who your clients are, you figured out the value that you're offering them. Maybe some more work can be done on that, but you basically know what you're doing and who you're doing it for. So now is the time to think about scaling it, right? And this is the moment that we need a new strategy, and we need to move from doing everything in our business and from thinking about everything to going back to being that specialist. We need to stop being a generalist and going back to being that specialist that we were when we very first started our business, or when we had that idea to start the business. And this is a transition that a lot of business owners find difficult. So you start out as a specialist, you have to become a generalist and do all of those things, and then we have to come back to being a specialist. So what do I mean by that? I want to be really clear then about this point, because this is really such an important thing. I'm not telling you that you need to focus on what you're good at for some kind of fluffy, let's all be happy clappy reason. Although I do want you to be happy and love what you do, of course, that's not the reason why I'm talking about this. The reason why this is so important is that what you're good at and what you love doing and what puts you in your flow is what your business needs you to be doing, needs you to be spending your time on. And this is what we need to get our head around. Instead of thinking this is some kind of selfish, let's all just do the bits that we enjoy, this is actually good for business. Or put another way, doing things that drain your energy is actually bad for your business. And this is what I really want to share with you. So we all have the same 24 hours in the day. It often doesn't feel like it when we're overwhelmed and frustrated. It often feels like we have less time than everybody else. But so your job as a business owner is to use your 24 hours in the smartest way possible. And as a business owner, is it good for your business? You need to ask yourself, is it good for your business that the owner is doing things that other people can do? That's really the question. Is that actually good for your business, to be doing those things that somebody else could be doing? And the answer, of course, is no. What your business really needs you to be doing are those things that only you can do, that special sauce that you bring to your business. The reason that you started your business in the first place, what makes you special? What is that special thing that your business needs from you? And that is what you need to be spending your time on. And so the really interesting point about this is that the question of money often comes up when we're talking about hiring people, particularly that first person. So people often tell me, I just need to make a bit more money and then I will hire somebody, or I just need to be making a bit more profit. We just need to pass this milestone. I can't afford to hire somebody at the moment. And do you know what? The thing about this is that it really is a chicken and egg scenario. So let me explain to you what I mean by that. If you were in your flow, doing the things that your business needs you to do, and not doing all of those things that drain your energy, how much more revenue, how much more customers, how much more business could you do? You see, here's the thing. Most of the business owners that I work with, they are often the best salesperson in their business. They're often the best person at forming partnerships. They're often the best at speaking with customers. They're actually the best revenue generators. And so if that's you, any time you're spending not doing that, you're actually you're leaving money on the table, let's put it that way. And so if you hear yourself saying, I can't afford to hire somebody, I want to challenge that, because I don't think it's true. Maybe you have a cash flow issue. Maybe there's a timing issue. But that person, if you get the right person and they free up your time in your business, they free you up to generate more money, which means that you can then pay for the person to free up your time. It's a bit of a circular chicken and egg, yeah? So, hopefully now I've put that objection to bed, and that is such an important one on why I can't afford somebody. Maybe, how long is it going to take them to free up your time? If you had more time, could you generate some more money? Could you generate enough money to pay for them? Of course you could. In most cases, the people that I talk to, of course they could. So now we've got our heads in the right place, I hope. Now we need to ask the opposite question. What are those things that really drain the life out of you? What are those things that you put off? We all procrastinate. And do you know what's really interesting about procrastination that I don't hear a lot of people talking about? They talk about how to overcome procrastination, and they talk about all these tips and techniques to get us stop procrastinating. What I'm more interested in is, why do you procrastinate, and what things do you procrastinate over? That's what's interesting. Not trying to stop you procrastinating, because we all procrastinate. But do you know what? What are those things that you put off, and why are you putting them off? Is it because they drain your energy? Is it because you need to cut them up? Is it because you find them overwhelming? Is it because you don't know how to do them? That is a great question to ask yourself. What are those things that you put off, and why? Because once you get really clear about that, then you can start making some changes. So what are those things that you really don't want to do, but you tell yourself that you should? There's that word again. Let's start with those. Let's start with getting those off of your plate. So what are those things? Now, it might be hard to imagine that there is somebody out there, that there is anybody out there that will happily take on all those things that you hate. It can be a bit difficult to get our heads around that. But I am here to tell you that the world is made up of many, many wonderfully different people. And the amazing thing is that people are working more and more flexible. So you can, flexibly, I should say. So you can, if you get really clear, you can find exactly the right person that can do exactly the things you need them to do, and can work exactly the number of hours that you want, and can effectively fill that hole that we're now going to create by packaging up those things that you really shouldn't be spending your time on. And there is somebody out there that is absolutely perfect for you and the task that you need them to do. And people often tell me that it's difficult to find good people, that it's difficult to find exactly what we want. And you know what? Maybe that's true. But I find in my work that most of the challenge is actually getting really clear about what we want. The more clear we can get about what it is that we're really looking for, the easier it is just to find them. And so I'm going to focus on helping you get really clear on what kind of person you're looking for. So the trick is really to get very clear about what you're looking for and what you want them to do. So what do I mean by that? So for example, you might be thinking, oh, I need a virtual assistant. So lots of people are talking about VAs. Oh, VA is the way to go. But if you find a good VA and then you're kind of sitting on the phone going, right, what do we do now? That doesn't really work. What you've got to do is get really clear about what exactly you want the person to do for you. Now, that might drain your energy because it's like, well, I don't really know. I don't really know what the steps are. I don't really know what I want this person to be doing. And you know what? That's fine, because ideally you want to be hiring somebody that knows this stuff better than you, or is better at it than you. I hope so, because this is what they're good at, right? This is what they love doing. So what is much more important than the steps is the outcomes. What's the outcome that you want? Yeah, so it's not, I need you to do this email, or I need you to do this thing, or what is the outcome that you want them to do? Now, if you're a bit of a control freak, and there's nothing wrong with being a bit of a control freak, you might want to lay out the step-by-steps. But the most important thing is, what is the outcome that you want from the person that you're trying to give the task to? How often do you want the person to check in with you? At what points in the process do you want them to show you? Do you want to sign it off? Do you want to check it? Do you want to have a look at it? And very, very, very important, what are the standards that you want? And the reason that I'm making such a big deal of this is that please don't assume that the person is like you. Now, let me explain. We all are naturally drawn to people like us. They think like us, they solve problems like us, they do things like we do. But if you are trying to find somebody who likes doing all the things that you hate, then you are looking for somebody who sees the world completely differently. It's like if you want to imagine they've got a completely different set of spectacles on than you do. And that means that everything is different inside their head. And so the way that you do things will be different than the way that they do things. And so you need to be really clear, therefore, about the outcomes and the standards, because you might just assume that everybody has a similar standard. So I'll give you an example. A business owner that I was speaking to a few weeks ago had an issue with a VA over confidentiality. Had an issue because the VA asked somebody else for help, and this business owner felt that she had breached confidentiality. And my question in that situation is, did you, when you onboarded her, when you first took her on, did you clearly state, this is work that cannot be shared? Confidentiality is really, really important to me, for example. And so if you get stuck, you need to come back to me. Now, that might sound like an obvious thing, like, well, of course, my work is confidential. But what I would say, and what I said to this business owner, is confidentiality is obviously really important to you. And it's maybe more important to you because of the sector that you work in, or the type of work that you do, or the industry that you work in, or the kind of clients that you work with. Maybe it's more important to you than it might be to some other people. So the trick with this is not to assume, to be really, really clear and set things out really, really clearly for the other person so that there's no misunderstandings, no disappointments. The biggest source of anger and frustration and conflict in working relationships is expectations not being met. And expectations don't get met when they don't get set correctly up front. And that's your job as the business owner, as the person that's delegating, to make sure that those expectations are set clearly up front. And I would always advise in writing. I'm not talking about some big complicated contract. I mean, by all means have a contract if you want, but I think it's more important to be setting those expectations in writing. This is what I want and this is what I expect. How many hours are you working? What do you charge? How is it going to work? So think about all of those things up front, and you'll make it much more straightforward and much easier to work with you. The clearer you are, the easier you will find it to find the right person, but also to manage them. This is all about being really, really clear. Delegation is a dark art, as you know, and there's another video I've done a few videos on delegation specifically, and it is a bit of a dark art, and that is because there are actually lots of different kinds of delegation, and people get confused about what they actually want. But managing people is all about being clear, setting really clear expectations, and asking people rather than telling them. Yeah, so if you're not an expert in the particular area, ask them. Ask them how they think things should be done. Ask them the way that they would propose to set things out. Yeah, you don't have to have all the answers, but you do need to make sure it's all clear right from the beginning, whether you're looking for a member of staff or whether you're talking about a freelancer. So delegation, I mentioned delegation and management actually require you to be organised, and I know that for some people that's more of a challenge than others. There are several videos in the units here in this group about managing your time and getting organised, but it does require a certain amount of organisation to manage somebody else and deal with somebody else. But it really can be life-changing in terms of freeing up your time. So how often will you check in with them? How often are you going to have that conversation with you? What's your expectation in terms of when they do things and how they do things? What I would say is that the more experienced, the more senior, let me say, the person is that we're talking about, the more you want to leave them with latitude and just really focus on outcomes. If you're talking about a more junior person and someone that's less experienced, generally speaking, they prefer a bit more of a step-by-step process. So you do need to negotiate that a little bit with the other person as well. But really it is about being super, super clear about what you want. And really focusing on the fact that, yes, it will take more of your time. That's one of the reasons why people don't do this. It will take more of your time to begin with, but eyes on the prize. This is going to free up your time to generate more revenue in your company and give you more time to think creatively, create those new products and services, and just grow your business in the way that you want to by you being in your flow and in your zone. So definitely finding the right person is about clearly articulating what you want in terms of outcomes and standards. Now, I've been talking a lot here about that very first hire that we make in our business, but it is actually the same principles as you scale your business. So some of you watching, I know, have already got a small team. And so the question to be asking yourself all the way through is, what does your business really need you to do? Exactly what I asked earlier on. So not what can you do, because there are many things in your business that you can do, I'm sure, but what does your business really need you to be focusing on? So you have to really almost put yourself into your director of your business, so put your director hat on and say, what does the business need from me? Yeah, what is the best use of my time? And that is such a powerful question. What is the best use of my time? Not, oh, it will be quicker and easier to do it myself, but what is the best use of my time? And one thing to remind you also, maybe you've never really thought about this, but as you grow and as you scale, the caliber of person, the price of the cost of the person that you need to free up your time will go up. So as your time becomes more and more valuable in your business, the cost of the people that you need to put in place to free you up to go up to that next level will obviously go up. You'll need better and better people who will cost you more and more. And that is part of how we build this pyramid of value in the business, and you become more and more valuable in the business. But if you're sat there doing all the admin, or if you're sat there drowning in shit that is outside of your flow, that is not good value to your business. And so this is not about being selfish. This is about doing the right thing for your business and ultimately for yourself. I hope that makes sense. I am going to, so just in summary, I'm just going to summarize that. So key messages about not doing everything yourself are get really, 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 really clear about what puts you in your flow, in your zone, and what your business really needs from you. And then work on delegating everything else. Step by step, everything else. So I'm going to close today's live with 2 quotes about this topic. The first is from Oliver Emberton. He is a British entrepreneur, and this is one of my favourite quotes, and he said, "You can do anything, but you can't do everything." And secondly, from Steve Jobs, who was the former CEO of Apple, And what he is famously quoted as saying is, it doesn't make sense to hire smart people and tell them what to do. We hire smart people so they can tell us what to do. And I think that's a really interesting quote, that actually you can learn as much from your people as they learn from you. And this brings me back to what I always say when I'm training managers. Management is all about asking, not telling. So I'm going to round up by asking you to let me know what your thoughts and questions are on this or any other topic relating to how to grow a business that really works for you. I can see we've got lots of people watching from all around the world, so thank you so much for joining, and I hope you found that valuable. Do let me know what area of business you would like me to speak about next in future lives. And I would like to just wish you, whatever you're doing this weekend, I hope it's a bright and sunny one. It looks like it will be here in the UK. So whatever you're doing this weekend and whoever you're doing it with, I do wish you a very happy and peaceful time. And as always, if you want to talk, you know where I am. Take care, stay safe, and do keep in touch. Bye for now.